I would say by the mid-1980s, it was clear that apartheid wouldn't last. I mean, obviously, people might argue that right from the beginning, it wasn't going to last. But it had military support from the West because it presented itself as first that it was on the side of the white world. Then I think it presented itself as anti-communist. Like it was a bulwark in Southern Africa against communism because Angola was, once Angola becomes independent, it's run by a Marxist regime. Mozambique, which is on the border, Zimbabwe. So South Africa for the United States presented sort of a bulwark against Soviet influence. And also the country was doing well economically. Like I think if you look now, if you go back and you look at the exchange rate between the rand, which is the local currency, and the dollar, South Africa was very healthy. There was a series of strikes in 1973. There was the Soweto uprising of 1976. There's the murder of Biko in 1977. But somehow it seemed that they had survived that. And then the 1980s came, and there was suddenly now this mass political activity inside the country. There was a sense finally that the South African struggle had, it had become internationalized. So in the US, for example, now there were these strikes on campuses where students would build shanty towns, would demand that their board of governors divest from South Africa. There were people inside Congress, historically Black congressmen. Ron Dellums was the leader of the sort of effort, but also white congresspeople like Howard Wolpe, some Republicans like, I think, Richard Lugar, people like that, who were shifting, were basically saying, look, apartheid, it can't exist like this to this extent. And so in 1985, by then, there were these secret meetings between the ANC and the South African government, not public. The South African government was still doing the rhetoric of it's our duty to hold off against communism in the South. We can't have full democracy with these people. But privately, I think they'd already accepted that they have to talk to the ANC. So